Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever for a 6v6 played on the map Adaptive Millennium. Let's go ahead and get into player introductions, but before we do, make sure you hit that like button. The algorithm oh so much enjoys it, and if that subscribe button is still red, why? About half of you don't have that gray subscribe button, and that is a mark of shame on you. Let's go ahead and get into player introductions, starting with Team 1 on the north and Team 2 on the south, and we will go west to east for Team 1 as we have a maroon UEF going first land, and his name is a paper towel. Then we can move up to the north of him with the brown Cybran going first air, and his name is Claymix. Then over to the east of him, we have a purple Seraphim going first land. His name is Dubial, and he is rocking that position. As we move on to the blue UEF going first land by the name of Serveron. Yeah, that's not too hard to say. I don't know why I made a big deal about it. As we move to the orange Cybran going first land with the name of Jack Dawn. Then, last but not least, for Team 1, we have ourselves a red Cybran strutting his stuff up to the front lines, and his name is Canito. Then we can move on to Team 2, where we will go east to west with the Cyan Aeon. Best color and faction, you can't go wrong with this combination. His name is Mary Nars. And then over to the south of him, we have a pink Cybran going first air. His name is KK2, and he is on the plateau. As we move on to the blue Aeon, very good choice out from Maximus XXX, and he has gone first land. And then to the north of him, we have ourselves in the middle of the map a purple Seraphim going first land by the name of Tormozilla. Then to the southwest, we have a yellow Aeon, best faction, Team 2, really representing the greatest faction on Earth, by the name of Once Handsome, as he knocks down some trees with those powerful thighs. And then last but not least for the entire game, a white Cybran going first land, and his name is Laconic. And that is all of our players introduced. We can talk about the map. We have casted this one a fair few times. Last time we saw some spicy naval play in one of these pawns. And of course, we have over 180,000 reclaim. These players will get up to high-tech units very quickly with all of the reclaim on the map. We're going to see a lot of land battles. We will probably see some significant air battles. And of course, experimentals have a way of just cropping up on this map. So it's going to be a fun slugfest. Make sure you have a snack and drink ready, because this action is going to be something to feast over. As in the middle, we have our first meeting of the comms with Tormozilla and Serveron meeting each other and scooping up all of these big rocks in the middle. 333 mass per rock is oh so juicy and tasty, and they will suck it up and turn it into weapons of war. As Jack Dawn starts making his way from the north to this southern point of contention, Once Handsome deciding to go with the strategy of throwing down a land factory very far forward, wants to get out some engineers. More build power means more reclaim. More reclaim means more good stuff, and more good stuff means dead enemies. And that's what we're going for here. Of course, the ratings of this game, as Tormozilla is in a bit of a scary spot with both Jack Dawn and Serveron being able to shoot at him very soon, the On brothers as it were. But the ratings, an average rating of 1,000 for Team 2 and 983 for Team 1. So overall, very, very close rated match, 88% game quality, and a lot of players ranging from 500 to 1,200 respectively on each of these teams. That factory gonna go down quickly, but a engineer did manage to make its way out, is gonna get a little bit of reclaim for its troubles, but probably not enough to pay for that factory. Another engineer gonna make its way out and help with the reclaim game, but Cerberon going to dash the hopes of that factory producing any more units. Very sad day indeed. As we zoom out and look at the map overall, the general map control is as to be expected, but everybody getting the mexes that they were expected to get, and now the middle is becoming a little bit of a no man's land, as neither side going to be able to pick up those mexes with the threat of enemy commanders just outside their doorstep. And of course we have a few upgrades now coming in. We have T2 now on the way for Mary Nars, T2 on the way for a paper towel, and gun speed and range on the way for Duval. Has anybody finished an upgrade? No, they have not. So those are our first 3 upgrades, 2 for Team 1, 1 for Team 2, and this is how the game is shaping up. Laconic going to be over here with the commander, be able to pick up a few kills on those strikers. And of course, that's always going to be good for the Cybran player there. Building a wall, does not want to have any of those dirty UEF trespassing in his territory. Not really taking an aggressive stand here. Has a ton of engineers out on the map. Man, Laconic is going crazy for reclaim. Sitting on 25 engineers at the 5, almost 6 minute mark. That is a lot. Once Handsome contesting him for most engineers though, sitting over 30. And of course, Tormozilla going to be very strong in that count as well, as he is also over 30 engineers. And that is a huge discrepancy between these teams. Only player on Team 1 who has a huge amount of engineers right now for reclaim is going to be Dubial, and he is sitting at almost 50, very close to 50 engineers. I'm pretty sure if I click this again, he's over 50 engineers. Wow, that is impressive. And of course, these players going to be able to scoop up a whole lot. Speaking of reclaim, Tormozilla and Maximus XXX are going to be the players with the most. And did I miss introductions on somebody? Wait, what? Where is Maximus? Did I introduced him? Okay, sorry, I was going crazy. I was like, there is no way I missed somebody. All right, but Maximus XXX and Tormozilla both sitting at 11,000. So is Canito. Dubial sitting at 10K. Once Handsome at 9,000, just now cresting that 10,000 mark. Laconic very close to 10,000. Everybody else below 9,000 reclaim. But that, of course, is very little in comparison to what is on the map right now. Still nearly 100,000 mass on this map for these players to scoop into their coffers and turn into juicy units and mechs upgrades. Of course, more upgrades coming out as the game goes on. T2 is finished up for Maximus and for Claymix. We also have, of course, a paper towel finishing up his T2, and now he's on damage and range. Nano repair started up for Dubial after he got that gun speed and range, and I believe it is about to nope, it's about halfway done. Tons of upgrades coming out, not going to be able to track all of it, as a few strikers try to run by into the area owned by Once Handsome. Not going to be able to stop this at the moment. Is Once Handsome going to have to get out a few more units. May want to throw out a very quick Obsidian or Blaze to just clean this up, as his T2 engineers are now under threat. That's going to be very unfortunate for the yellow Aeon player. This run by going to get a lot of value. It's killed off a lot of build power, and that's going to hurt Once Handsome in the long run, as these units are continuing to make their way in towards the base. Does have Obsidians queued up, but needs to make sure he gets them out before the factory goes down, because if that factory does go down, that will be a huge blow. Or even losing some of these T2 mexes, one of which almost T3. This could be a disaster for Once Handsome. And that's the biggest play really being made. A bit of fighting going on in the middle. Over to the west, we have Laconic going up against a Paper Towel, who's now starting to throw up triads. A Paper Towel just having a really good game so far, killing off power generators. Not going to focus down that Mex, which may be a critical mistake here. But unfortunately, Once Handsome not doing the Aeon Micro justice, as he is walking his units within range of those strikers. Not something you like to see. Obsidian now on the way. Will most likely get out before that factory goes down. And right now, the only thing that Once Handsome is realistically going to lose is a bunch of T1 power generators. That is an unfortunate situation for Once Handsome, but could have been much worse, so I'm sure he's happy that it wasn't. And his T3 mechs will be finishing up momentarily. Laconic in a rough position, going to be forced into the water, and there's almost, honestly, not really a good avenue for him to get out of this anytime soon. With that comm with damage and range and T2 sitting right here at the water's edge, it's going to be difficult for Paper Towel, or I mean for Laconic to get out of that water. He's going to go ahead and make the most of the situation, grab the rocks in the water, but a Paper Towel is going to be threatening over here. The wall formations thrown up by Laconic are going to really slow down this force, but that's just slowing it down. It doesn't solve anything. As a bunch of T2 PD, these Cerberus come online, they're going to do very well at killing off all of these Lobos and Strikers, but Paper Towel himself could walk forward and get some juicy overcharges onto him if he so pleases, or even just build a bunch of T1 PD right next to them. That is a valid strategy when going up against these T2 PD, and if you are T2 yourself. Laconic opting to get out of the water right now. He thinks he smells blood. A Paper Towel going to be in a rough position as he's going to start eating a ton of Cerberus fire, and Laconic is going to be able to walk his comm in and start getting shots off. 11,000 HP and falling rapidly due to those Cerberus, and now with an overcharge and a bunch of shots now coming out from Laconic, a Paper Towel gonna fall in health rapidly. He may even be going down momentarily if he doesn't get out of the range of those Cerberus, which are just pounding damage into that comm down to the red health. 3,000, 2,000, 2,400, 2,200, but he is gonna walk out of the range of those Cerberus just in time, and he still has damage and range, so Laconic not gonna push his luck with only 4,000 HP on the Commander. A very spicy play going on up there. A Cerberus thrown up on the hill to try and even hurt a Paper Towel anymore. Now a T1 torpedo launcher tried to build up but was shut down by a pillar. The turtle strategy coming out from Laconic really working well for him, and if he can get those engineers he built up earlier into this reclaim field, could be huge. As a Strat Bomber now comes out from Clay Mix and is going to get some juicy bombs. The first bomb going to take out 2 T2 mexes of Laconic. Let's see exactly how far this bomber will go as the map is opening up. Higher tech units are coming onto the field. T3 air has been achieved by at least one player. In comes the Strat Bomber again, gonna bomb the same exact location, get rid of the reclaim. That's gonna be brutal down onto Laconic. And now we're looking at a desperate situation for the White Cybern player, but he is luckily going to be able to get his comm out of harm's way, and this bomber is going for another double kill on mexes and does seem like he will be able to achieve it. Gets 2 more mexes down. If he goes for the second bomb once again, that could be huge, but instead I think going to opt for killing off some of the power generators down here, and this bomber up to 1 rank of veterancy killed off 20 units so far, and that's just going to keep going up as there doesn't seem to be any ASF on the field to help with this. And oh no, it's a disaster as Laconic has been cut down at the knees and will be unable to realistically recover from this as long as a Paper Towel continues the aggression. Another bomb coming down, gonna kill off the T2 Air HQ as well as a ton of engineers, and no, Laconic has been bullied. And now it's a huge problem for Team 2 as the Strat Bomber going to come in and kill off yet another T2 mech up to 2 ranks of veterancy, almost a third. This one bomber has changed the landscape of the western side of the map in its entirety, as both teams looking to find a way to deal with the opponents, but right now it would seem that Team 1 just has the advantage overall. Laconic taking fire from the Strat Bomber itself. That Revenant could turn around and fire on it again. We need to check really quick. It's share until death. And thanks team for screenshotting there. It's share until death. So Laconic, if he goes down, all of this goes down. And that's unfortunate because his PD is the only thing really keeping him from just losing this entire flank for his team. Down to 1,400 HP. One more pass could do it, as this Strat Bomber has more than paid for itself and is coming in to kill off the White Cybern. That bomb's gonna land, and that's gonna be a comm dead. The comm bomb does kill off the Strat Bomber. The small silver lining to that horrible situation that Team 2 now finds itself in. Luckily the walls, the walls even die on on share until death. That is unfortunate. And with that, I can take a moment to breathe, get a drink, make sure to build your hydros and stay hydrated, everybody. as a strap bomber now out this time for KK2. Not going to get quite as much done. 14 kills, another bomb going to drop. Going to be able to kill off another T2 mechs. He kind of spread his damage out across the map. But overall, a very dicey situation for the Southern team, especially if a paper towel is bold enough to send his comm forward, has shield on it. If he sends it forward and tries to hold on to this area and successfully does so, that will be horrible for Once Handsome, who will have a threat on his doorstep that will be very hard to dislodge. UEF very good at building up those turtley style bases. And now Maximus calling for his team to not fail. Over here to the east, Mary Nars having a bleak outlook, saying he lost, but it looks like he's in a good position. Oh no, he's not. A strap bomber maybe, or a tactical missile launcher managed to kill off a lot of his mexes. I don't know quite what killed that all off. I don't see a strap bomber wreck. It may have been a tactical missile launcher, but if it was, we don't know where it is anymore. 658. That was a tactical missile launcher indeed. There was too much action going on around the map, but now Marinar's in a very difficult position as his opponent is sitting on a bunch of T3 mexes and he has lost most of his economy. Meanwhile, over to the west, we still have scrimmaging and fighting going on between a paper towel and Once Handsome. Once Handsome doing relatively well, has some assistance of some rhinos out from Tormozilla. And right now, a paper towel trying to get some of that reclaim. Had some engineers over here. Overall, let's check the reclaim numbers. Dub Y'all sitting at the lead with 28,000, managing to get a lot done here. There's been some fighting, and he has a lot of engineers building up here in the middle. Gun Splash on the way. A commander has been heavily invested into, but hasn't managed to get any kills. He's going the full Rambo comm. Gonna attempt to draw first blood here, as he slowly gets that upgrade. Has nano repair, maybe even advanced nano. I guess I should check that. It's very different depending on... He has advanced nano, and he's going to have splash. That is going to be a devastating comm when it reaches the front lines. We will have to keep an eye on that for sure, as miasmas are being used to great effect to try and maintain some control over this eastern side, but Mary Nars is going to be facing a huge problem very soon. This firebase will not hold up to concerted T3 attacks, and that might just be what's coming his way. As we have our first glimpse of T3 units, the Harbingers, the best units here, would love to see an attack move, so they start reclaiming up over here while they're waiting to find targets to attack. But of course, we do have to be a little bit patient here. Don't want to rush things. You don't want to get your Harbingers into a bad position before they can wreak any kind of real damage on the enemy. And the map goes a bit quiet at the moment. A bit of a push coming out from the combined forces of Once Handsome and Maximus. Maximus really trying to hold his team together, building TMD over here for Mary Nars, building T3 units to go help the western front. Not really paying attention to the middle, but that's okay because nobody is pushing in the middle. And just trying to eco up and be in a strong position. Speaking of ecos, Jack Dawn and Maximus at the lead. Jack Dawn at a astonishing 233 mass a second. We're starting to look at that range of building experimentals very soon for him. Canito at 190, doing very well for himself over on the far right flank. The ones bringing up the rear are Mary Nars, who had that horrible tactical missile launcher experience, and Claymix not really doing all that great on his eco either, as he is the air player, hasn't really opted for T3 mexes, just continuing to throw everything into air production. That may come back to bite him, as K2 is now one of the highest earning players in the game. He's going to be able to throw out a lot more air very soon. As we slowly reach in towards the later and later stages of this game. It's only 18 minutes, but T3 is peripheralating along across the map. And ecos are all cresting that 100 mass a second mark, except for the unfortunate 2 at the bottom. These players are about to be getting some explosive weaponry onto the field, and there's still a ton of reclaim over here to the west, and we can see these Harbingers grabbing up reclaim. One of the best things about these units is their ability to just reclaim at will. Even attack move reclaim does work with them. Strat Bomber coming out from Clay Mix does get taken down by the Air Force of KK2. And we wait to see how this will all develop. Artillery wars now forming over here on the eastern side. A very protected comm for Canito. And Maximus has already built an experimental unit. He was out on the top of the mass charge just a moment ago. We can see how he's fallen behind a little bit because he's thrown a whopping, I think it's 26,000 mass into building himself a Galactic Colossus. 27,500 is the number on that. Has some sniper bots, is gonna have some units to help defend here, defend it and support it. But the splash upgrade is done, and Dubyall may be able to fight this experimental with his own mini experimental in the form of that ACU. It's very heavy investment out from Dubyall. He needs to make sure that he is using this comm. He has thrown all of his eco into this. He's been a high eco player. He's gotten the most reclaim on the map. This has to pay off. This is not a situation where he can afford to just let this slide, and he has had a critical mistake, forgot to upgrade a mix. Oh, that is brutal. He also has 2 T3 HQs, which is interesting to say the least. Very interesting play coming out from that player. Overall economies, Team 1 just now cresting the 1,000 mass a second mark, Team 2 at 919. Megalith now on the way for Jack Dawn, and that's going to go up very quickly with his 320 mass a second. And it's still quiet, but this game is becoming a powder keg very quickly. And will not be surprised to see a large movement of units, a large exchange of these experimentals and T3 units very soon, as the GC steps forward to take a swing, and he's going for a home run as he's gonna walk right up the middle. Does not know of the danger that awaits him with all of these Athanaas and this commander. We could see a very dangerous situation where this GC just goes down to an ACU, but that GC has been spotted. The tactical missile launchers we're trying to get some value here in the middle, not quite able to. Too much TMD. And Marinar is slowly rebuilding. He's still not up to 100 mass a second, but he is trying. Strat Bomber out from Clay Mix. Going to be important as all of the land units for Maximus now showing up. That Megalith about to finish up, and that Megalith going to be a big, big problem for this GC. It needs to keep pushing, and it needs to gain some value here. If it does not get up to the front lines before this Megalith is completed, if it doesn't get in some economic damage, that will be a huge blow to Team 2. He's gonna have a lot of units behind it. The Megalith won't be able to fight the Harbingers, Sniper Bots, and this GC, but his units are a bit disjointed at the moment as the Megalith is going up in 3, 2, 2 and 1.5, 1 and 3. Well, now! As now comes out the Megalith. These asylums will be useful if they do get on top of that GC, but the Megalith has finished up. Does Maximus? No. Maximus has no idea what he's walking into right now, and it could be a disaster. It may even be worth it for him to just ignore the Megalith and try and walk his GC into this mass fabricator farm. Experimental on the eastern side as well. A Monkey Lord out from Canito, and Marinar is going to try and use his overwhelming land force here. It's mainly T1 and T2, but he's going to use it to try and tie up that Monkey Lord, avoid letting it get over here to help with the GC. 2 T3 mexes have gone down for Jack Dawn. And the asylums are over here. The Harbingers need to get involved. The Sniper Bots need to get involved. The GC is going to run away. There are 2 spiders. Another spider going to finish up very, very soon. Now for Jack Dawn, the Monkey Lord over here on the eastern side for Kanito, doing its damnedest to kill off all of this. The shield's really soaking a lot of damage here, luckily for Kanito. He's not going to lose too much due to that. The GC walking in, the Harbinger's getting on top. Harbinger's having one of the best DPS for any of the T3 assault bots, meaning that it's going to be very effective up against this Megalith. And now the Megalith is going to be taking a lot of damage, but so is the GC. And with the Harbingers getting right underneath, we're going to have to see if that DPS is going to work. A rank of veterancy coming in at a critical moment now for Maximus, and that Megalith is going to go down, but so is the GC if it doesn't keep firing at the Megalith. No, what are you doing? What are you doing, Maximus? This was a huge failure, and it's a disaster. The shields come in, but just a little bit too late. The Megalith will go down as well, but the Monkey Lord's already done. That was a critical micro mistake coming out from Maximus. And that just leaves a ton of reclaim on the doorstep of Jack Dawn. He lost 2 T3 mexes, and in return, he's going to have 61,000 reclaim on his door. Quite the developments this game has taken, as the miasma creep getting ever closer to the base, but now with Monkey Lords on the field, it's going to be hard for Marinars to keep up the aggression with his static defenses. A couple of those shots gonna be getting close to T3 mexes. A T3 mex going down. A T3 Pigeon even gonna go down there. Another one may go down. Nope, not quite in range. But the Monkey Lord gonna push forward and deal with that momentarily. That gun splash and range and advanced nanocom pushing forward now only has 1 kill, but it was worth over 800 mass. There's a chicken on the field. That's a lot of supporting units for this commander, and it's going to try and attack towards Marinars, but now there's a chicken that could be causing him issue. There's another GC going to finish up for Maximus here soon. The western side, a large force out from a paper towel starting to encroach on the territory of Once Handsome and Tormozilla, and Marinars goes down to a Control K. I'm guessing that was the Monkey Lord. I thought his comm was in the water. And oh no, it's a disaster with the combined fights of Maximus taking up here, and with that death, Team 2 is down 2 players, and it is looking dire for the representatives of the southern side. The Monkey Lord will go down to these whalers most likely. But this is a rough position for the southern team. The northern team just seemingly having the answers. The experimental spam now coming out from Jack Dawn is going to be overwhelmingly oppressive. But Team 2 is still in it. Team 2 still has they're equaling the economy, so these 4 players all very powerful in the game right now. In fact, I would argue, yeah, most of them are topping the charts right now, doing very well, but they're gonna have a map control loss here, and that means more mexes have the opportunity to upgrade for the northern team. This T1 mex over here for Dubyall, I'm sure he's gonna be kicking himself watching this, if he does indeed watch it. As the GC starts walking out, the chicken over here to assist it. Dubyall gonna come out with that splash comm, gonna try and just get maybe a couple ranks of veterancy. He's reclaiming for some reason, but gonna take a huge heaping of damage to the face, up to 1 rank of veterancy. 226 health a second means that he will be able to survive for quite a while. Torpedo bombers will have struggles with sniping him. They have air superiority. I am sorry, says Claymix. He just doesn't have the air production that his opponents do. He was behind on economy for quite a while, still the lowest economy player in the game at the moment. Unable to keep up with the likes of KK2, who is nearly triple his economy right now. And Dubyall in a very, very dicey position, as the GC is going to walk forward, the chicken is going to walk forward, but there's a Megalith and 2 Monkey Lords, and even with the air control right now, that's not going to make up for this lack of experimental presence coming out from Maximus right now. This is a bad fight. Needs to go back into the water. Dubyal dangerously close to dying. 8,000 health. That's a lot of torpedo bombers to contend with. The GC might be able to get into the water, but no, it's going to go down to the microwave lasers on those monkey lords. And over to the west, we have a large Percival army now pushing forward. There's a ton of bricks and Ilshvas trying to defend, but it's looking like a paper towel with Ravager and Triad Creep may be able to continue pushing forward here. Dubyal does manage to get out of the water, and that health regeneration back up to 10,000 HP. There are strat bombers in the area, but they miss their target. They don't hit him. Laser now done for Jack Dawn. I doubt he's going for Telemazer. That is more of a defensive option there for him. As Corsairs come in, try and get some damage down onto Once Handsome. Going to be unable to. And Team 1, they're looking strong, but they do need to deal with the fact that air superiority has definitely been achieved by the Southern team. And with a Tsar on the field, that means a lot. Strat bombers coming in, but Dubyal is already back up to 15,000 HP. He is under no threat of death. Not really getting the return on investment on that commander, but he is still alive, and that's what matters, as he does have a chicken out onto the field. Where did the chicken... Where did the chicken... Oh, there's the chicken for Tormzilla. The Tsar coming out. It's going to be making its way over here to the east. Wants to maybe get a scalp onto Canito. Canito does have a decent number of AA thrown up here. And he does have those Monkey Lords, which don't have insignificant AA prowess themselves. That's going to be a few ASF coming in. Needs a response from KK2. But KK2 not showing up to help defend this Tsar. It could be a critical mistake. The Tsar's going to come in onto the base of Jackdawn, but its shield is already fallen. At the very least, it can fall onto the Mass Fab farm to go make a very critical explosion go on here. Needs to make sure he does get that chain reaction, though. Doesn't want to risk just losing it here. But Jackdawn, he's just dead! Jackdawn goes down! Oh no, it's a disaster. Team 1 loses their highest eco player. And the air control has resulted in a huge victory now for Team 2. I thought that maybe there was some way Jackdawn would get out of that, but Maximus, just seeing the angle I didn't, just seeing that there wasn't enough DPS to kill off that Tsar before it killed the comm. And even then, if it just got a significant amount of damage onto that comm, the donut falling would have killed him. As there's a Fat Boy in the middle and a Yathoda for Team 1, but with that, there is a huge power vacuum created. The first player to go down for Team 1, but it was arguably their most important player, does leave a huge reclaim field for Canito, who is sending a ton of T3 engineers. 50,000 mass right there. We could see a possible Scathis or T3 artillery start for him, and it would not be a bad idea, as we're starting to creep into that stage of the game where game enders are your friends. And we have support commanders dying on the front lines. The overwhelming PD creep coming out from a paper towel is gonna get dangerous over here on the western side. The Fat Boy getting a lot of value here. It's lost some HP, most likely to an air unit, or maybe there are some artillery in the area firing on it, but the chicken gonna come in and kill off said artillery before the Fat Boy dies, I believe. Well, maybe not. That's gonna be a lot of damage. Nope, he's gonna be fine. And with the Spectres now firing onto that Yathoda, it's gonna go down quickly, especially with a Tsar and Megalith in the area. Dubyal reclaiming with that beefed up Rambo comm in the main base. At this point, it may be a really good decision for him to just get teleport, as a nuke has been launched. Where is it going? It doesn't seem like there's too many anti-nukes, and I don't think there's an anti-nuke over here for Claymix. And oh no, Team 1 is just tripping over themselves. They've made a tactical blunder. It looked like they may have had victory in their hands, but they just didn't prepare. They didn't take those small steps. Jackdawn didn't build a bunch of AA when he realized he was out, didn't have air control, and nobody built an anti-nuke except for this blue player over here, who I believe is Serveron. And Claymix does survive, but at what cost? He lost pretty much everything there. The Tsar goes down to the ASF out from Claymix. But it's kind of a hollow victory there. The bright spot at the moment for Team 1 is, of course, a paper towel, but he's going to start having troubles as a wave of whalers show up. He cleaned out this southwestern corner, cut down the economy of Team 2 quite a bit with that, in fact, because all of these were T3 mexes. And he's pushing forward quite rapidly. But he's going to lose all of this to whalers. He just doesn't have, his team doesn't have the ability to protect this. He needs a lot more flak, a lot more AA, needs to probably build a bunch of SAMs near his comm. As the whalers out from KK2 and the Spectres out from Once Handsome going to wreak havoc on this force. There are some AA here. There is a chance for these to be warded off, but he's going to lose a lot for it. As 3 Monkey Lords pressuring in the middle now for Kanito. He's just going to put him in the pond for now. Maximus is just a Tsar machine. He's kind of like the Russian monarchy with how many Tsars there that he's lined up for us today. And the whalers coming in. They're gonna start taking a lot of damage from these SAMs, but they can tank it for a while and really shut down this PD creep that's been causing them so many issues on this western flank. As the 3 Monkey Lords emerge, but it might be ill-fated with all of the strap bombers in the area, with the Tsar online. These Monkey Lords don't really have a lease on life, really. And the strap bombers seemingly going to go for the comm of Claymix. And that could be huge. Instead, though, going to retarget onto the anti-nuke out for Dubyal. And they're going to get it. Oh, no, they don't. Wasn't enough damage to break the shield. Oh, needed 3 or 4 more strap bombers to make that work. Critically, though, there's still not an anti-nuke over here to the east for Kanito. He needs to get one. He knows the opponents have nukes. It's to the west. Paper Towel pushing in once again after dealing with all of those whalers. Take a little bit for them to get more whalers spammed up, but there is a megalith that can be used for defense. The Percival's gonna come in and along with some Titan support, it's gonna be quite huge. This megalith eating a bunch of Clinkhammer or Zutham fire means that it's down to 1800 HP, which is really not a lot for a megalith. Oh, gonna lose even more HP as it runs away. And a Soul Ripper out may be the saving grace that Once Handsome needs right here. As in comes Tormozilla to save his ally once again. Tsar goes down, not really getting much achieved, but it doesn't matter because another one's going to be finished here in just a moment. As Maximus has found what he likes, and it begins with a C and ends with an R and rhymes with guitar. It's the Tsar. Thank you for the applause. You're too kind. Strategic launch detected. Where is that heading? It's heading over towards a paper towel. No anti-nuke critically. Gonna lose a lot here, but is it gonna be enough? Not gonna be able to pick up that many T3 mexes here, and I'm sure he's got a lot of mass to rebuild. You can get up some T3 engineers as his HQ is down here to the south. Not gonna feel good, but not the worst blow that could have happened as two Monkey Lords encroach towards the chicken. That chicken's HP gonna come off faster than the KFC chicken wing you had earlier. And that's gonna mean that at least one of the Monkey Lords goes down to the chicken, and the Soul Ripper gonna come in and deal with the rest of the other one. And that's just gonna be some reclaim on the doorstep for Team 2. Anti-nuke now thrown up hastily for Kanito. Should be able to load that before another nuke is out, as long as a new nuke launcher hasn't been produced. And we have a moment to breathe as things have calmed down a bit. Monkey Lord over here getting some good value, killing off this base that formerly belonged to Marinars but was rebuilt by Maximus. And now Team 1 and Team 2 gridlocked for economic power, but the map control speaks volumes as there's just a small bubble of control for Team 2, and Team 1 has the map at their disposal. The only thing that really is going wrong for Team 1 is their lack of air control. Kanito trying to put his weight into that as he is sitting on 432 mass a second, highest of the game, as he's taken over most of this area to the north that formerly belonged to Jack Dawn. And we have these players duking it out. T3 mechs under threat over here. May go down, does not. A paper towel playing a very strong game today, as a GC walks in behind the base of a paper towel. It's gonna get the T3 HQ. Oh no, a paper towel has been cut down at the knees. He has the forces to deal with a GC. They just weren't in the right place at the right time. Luckily for him, the T3 HQ does seem like it's going to be able to survive. He does have access to a lot of reclaim, so he can rebuild, but the question is, can he? Does he have the wherewithal to do so? A bunch of ASF out from Kanito, going to be able to pick up this Soul Ripper over on the eastern side. No air response coming out from KK-12. He's distracted. And that's going to be a dead Soul Ripper. And a lot of Whalers also going to go with it. That's a good trade for Kanito, even if he loses his Air Force here. He got rid of some of that aerial firepower that's been plaguing his team. And both sides are battered and bruised, but both sides have dark and bright spots right now. Seems that everybody on Team 1 trying to get into the T3 air game, and everybody on Team 2 trying to gain more territory for themselves. Paper Towel bold enough to even gain mexes on the side of the map that does not belong to him. Is GC gonna slowly die to the encroaching group of... That is a bold ACU. That was such an epic shot. Strategic launch detected. I think we know what the thumbnail is going to be, everybody. As a paper towel just comes back and Giga Chad kills that GC. It doesn't even really, he loses like one T3 mechs. Dude is just not taking damage despite very much so deserving to. He loses a lot of his land force though, but even so, the land force, it doesn't matter that he lost a whole bunch of it, because what are you gonna do? There's like 1,000 Clink Hammers and 50 Ravagers. It's gonna be a very tall task for this Megalith to get anything done. I think the Megalith, maybe it outranges the Ravagers. No, it doesn't. And it definitely doesn't outrange the T2 artillery, which is surely going to fire on it here soon. Strat bombers coming in to try and assist with that, though. They're going to die as they fly over a bunch of AA. And a paper towel has just been... He's been given as good as he got all game. Arguable MVP for Team 1. Probably a toss-up between him and... I don't know. Kanito's been doing pretty good on his side. He really dealt with his opponent, but hasn't had very many plays after the fact. Is working on a Scathis, which is a game-winning play. If he... Not necessarily, like, instantly, but that's the kind of thought you need to have if you want to win. And KK12, or KK2, having the exact same thought, but not quite as much mass to throw behind it at the moment. But he does have the air control to just snipe that Scathis if it does come online. As things seem to have reached that stage of the game where land is not going to win it for you. It'll help, but it's not the end-all be-all. The artillery is still firing onto this megalith, and if this battery is in range to get a volley off, it could very well kill it. Although, don't know what it's targeted on at the moment. Seems most of them firing on the megalith. And that is most likely going to be a dead megalith. Ooh, just barely 400 HP. Yeah, that is not a good day. And it does go down to another artillery shell. But will be reclaimed relatively quickly by this T3 engineer. Any other game enders on the way? No. We have Czars still being built and another GC out on the way for Maximus. He's gone a bit quiet. Tormozilla's been a silent star here, building a bunch of Soul Rippers now. Strat Bomber coming out over here to the west to try and deal with these T2 mexes, but they've more than paid for themselves by now. And in fact, it's just going to fly into a bunch of AA, and those mexes are going to continue to produce for a paper towel. Another Soul Ripper done, 2 on the field, a 3rd on the way. For Tormozilla. We'll take this brief reprieve to remind you to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Help me in the algorithm. We want to get FAF to as many eyes as possible. And I really enjoy making this content and appreciate all of you so much. As over to the west, we're looking at another GC assault. These experimentals slowly wearing down the defenses that a paper towel built up over 10 minutes ago. And this GC might be the straw to break the camel's back, as it were. The Percival's going to have to do very well. The Ravager's going to have to pour in a lot of damage, but these Percivals need to make sure that they aren't getting scooped up by those tractor beams, as each volley is going to take off a good chunk of that HP from the GC. A new Ravager's been built, going to fire its first volley and die. Now the GC going to turn to fire on those Percivals. More Ravagers going to continue to fire at the GC. GC slowly going down. Czar over here to the east, threatening towards Kanito. In the middle, we have multiple chickens pushing forward in towards a megalith. Awasis on the way for Dubyal. As that chicken goes down, it's really going to hurt the advancing forces of Dubyal, though. Kill off some of these shield generators, but that megalith will go down. Let's go ahead and check on reclaim numbers. 176,000 for my boy Tormozilla. He is a reclaiming machine. Maximus at 142,000. Dubyal at 112. Kanito and a paper towel near 90,000, and everybody else below 50,000. On the map right now, we're looking at 380,000 reclaim. Enough to build literally any unit in the game almost twice. As we have a Duke finished up now for Cerveron. And that Scath is halfway done now for Kanito. What about the Scath is for KK2? How is he doing? He's a bit behind the efforts of Kanito. Y'all still has a T1 mechs in his core mexes. And he has 2 T1 mexes over here. Would not be upset to see Kanito come over, reclaim this, and build T3 mexes. It's quite the waste. Y'all, if you're watching this, please don't feel attacked. I like to point out things that players can do better, and that's just something you have to check on. A good way to do so, especially later in the game, double click or control click on your T3 mexes and look around. If you see some capped mexes that aren't T3, or mexes in general that aren't T3, because you'll generally know where all the mex points are, click on it and see. Maybe you have a T1 mex laying around that could be T3, and that could really help you. Not that you're doing bad economically, you're still top 4 in a game with 10 players left, or 9 players left. Maximus has his Tsar working on an emissary, but that Duke now starting to fire down, and it's attacking KK2, who doesn't have the shields. He now is using hives to build the shields quickly, but oh no, this could be a huge blow towards the air player for Team 2, especially if it focuses on this anti-nuke, because Kanito has a nuke launcher and it's almost loaded. If it can focus down this anti-nuke, that could be massive. Comes in, kills off the Scathist, which was about 40% complete. And KK2 just did not have shielding in his base. A little bit unacceptable, as in a game like this, you just build shields at a certain point, and you build a lot of them, because you have to expect somebody will get that artillery piece online, and he is paying the price for his lack of protection. Always use protection, it's important, kiddos. And now, with those shots raining down, KK2 in a rough position. He's the main air producer, but in comes Claymix with a telesnipe, and it's not gonna work, because his commander doesn't seem to be, well, breaking the shields. Maximus would have died so, if you want to know why that happened, and if you are Claymix or you're in that position again, if he teleports just a little bit further to the left, don't teleport right on top of the commander. Teleport a little bit of ways, because otherwise you'll have that situation where the commander's targeting goes all fucky and it dances. If he wasn't dancing, Maximus dies with him there. And that would have been a huge play, because Maximus is the second biggest air producer for Team 2. But unfortunately, not going to result in too much here in the gains of Team 1. In fact, just going to be a loss for them, as a paper towel goes down to the double Soul Ripper. And oh no, it's a disaster. That may have been one of the last losses Team 1 can afford. We still have 3 very strong players for Team 1, but Team 2 is in just such a better position. Double the economy of their opposition. Scath is gonna finish. That is a bright spot in the very bleak game at the moment. He has a nuke launcher. He has opportunities to win this game still, but it's looking dire. And we're gonna speed it up just a little bit as we crest the 50-minute mark, as the Scathis fires its first shells. Tsars in mass can be used to block Scathis shells, and that's gonna be a huge blow. That's gonna hurt the emissary's production. Another volley like that coming in will stop this emissary from being finished, and it's coming in right now. That second volley gonna be huge. Emissary goes down. All of the power grid for Maximus goes down. The anti-nuke is down. It's easier to say what's still up in all honesty, As over here to the west, Soul Rippers coming in. Dubyall's base is a thing of the past. Air flying over the base of Kanito, but that's a huge mistake. Kanito has more SAMs than any other player in the game. And KK2 gonna lose most of his Air Force right here and right now. These SAMs need to be retargeted onto the Tsar immediately. Cannot allow the SAMs to keep firing at ASF. Loses most of his ASF there. Need to target the Tsar. If you're going to protect the Scathis, the Tsar has to be the first thing going down here. And the Tsar is taking a lot of damage. Will it be able to fall onto the Scathis? That's a question very soon, but even if it falls on the power generators, that could be huge. It's going to fall directly on top of the Scathis, and that might be a dead Scathis, and it is. And with that, that may have been the final nail in the coffin for Team 1. That Scathis was their last hope, I feel. As to the south, I mean, there's a lot of reclaim here. We're looking at almost 200,000 reclaim. You could build a Maver. But what do they have? Team 2 also not looking great, but they have the Tempest over here. They have a bunch of GCs. They have more land experimentals. They have more territory. Just a slew of deaths and headshots, killing off a lot of Team 1. A paper towel was a huge part of their game plan. He was maintaining huge amounts of pressure onto a paper towel and forcing Tormozilla to throw a lot of resources into helping Once Handsome. And we're gonna speed up again as the game has gone a bit stagnant. Control K out from Dubyall. His base is gonna explode over here. It's a tacked missile battery that's gonna get very little done. These Ravagers will be dangerous for the GCs to walk into. Strat Bombers now coming out to the eastern side. I don't think they're really gonna achieve too much. There's too much shielding in AA. Maybe going for the anti-nuke, and that does seem to be the main goal here, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to really get that. They do not get the anti-nuke. So Kanito still in this game, kind of the last hope for Team 1, as Severon is massively behind Kanito economically and really struggling to deal with the pressure coming out now from Once Handsome. Over to the east, more Strat Bombers coming in, but those shields are just going to pop right back online and things are going to be fine. 4 Monkey Lords online. Going to be able to defend against this GC.
Strategic launch detected.
And strategic launch detected. Where is it going? It's going over here, maybe killing off these Ravagers. Nope, killing off this base on the hill. 1 T3 mechs. I guess if you have the nuke laying around, may as well use it. As now Severon, he's got another chance for an epic play, much like his ally did earlier. But unfortunately, I feel like the GCs are just gonna step on him till he's dead. And that is going to be quite wow, maybe not. That GC gonna go down. Another one close to going down. The GC firing now onto the comm, but now there are Soul Rippers, and it is all over but the crying for Team 1. I don't see a way for them to deal with the overwhelming air power coming out from Team 2. There's a lot of SAMs in Kanito's base, but he doesn't have a way to strike back. And slowly but surely, the map will be claimed by Team 2. And it is an unfortunate day for Kanito and a paper towel. They tried their best, but sometimes your best just isn't enough. We're gonna go ahead and speed it up because the game is all but over, in all honesty. Strategic launch detected. Oh, he got the anti... Maybe not. You know what? I'm not sure this game is over. He has to deal with the air threat, but if he can manage it, this nuke gonna get a huge explosion onto the base of KK2 and kill off the commander. And we're in the end game now, boys, as Kanito has turtled up on his base and is looking strong. Needs to make sure he's not power stalling. That's very important to him at the moment. Strat Bomber is still coming out. Does he have Cloak on the comm? Nope, just Stealth. There are, or I think there's an artillery piece firing back at him. No, there is not. Maybe there was one in this base. I could have sworn I saw an artillery piece shot fall over here. He has up a disruptor. I think it's just one. Yep. He's trying to use that to leverage some damage down on towards Tormozilla. Where did all of his bugs go? Tormozilla sitting on... That's a megalith. He's sitting on 5 Soul Rippers. I think that may be enough in conjunction with the Tsar to just break through here. But he's a bit timid with them. 4 Monkey Lords going to assault this main base, but it's just an all for naught. There's no way these Monkey Lords get in with all of this. There's even an Awasa. It's going to be used by Tormozilla to help kill off these Monkey Lords exceptionally quickly. And yeah, I think I was right originally. There's 2 GCs outside the base. We're just going to get a cinematic view, turn the icons back on, and I'm going to say thank you to the Patreons. Thank you to the channel members that support me a little bit more than just your average subscriber. The show will always be free. I'm never going to pay gate anything, but if you want to help the channel, you want to help me directly, consider the channel membership or the channel Patreon. You all are oh so beautiful. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see FAF content grow on YouTube. This is Willow, signing off.
But if I